Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the February campus update. It's warming up. I think we're all thrilled. Februaries can be pretty tough in Ohio, but the rest of the year is just absolutely amazing. Really excited to share some information with you today, especially the accolades for the great faculty and staff members we have at the university. And near the end, I'm going to turn it over to Laura Good, our Executive Director of Human Resources, to touch on the ENPS survey that we initiated several months ago, so you can start to see where we're at and how we're going to use that information to be able to drive change going forward. I am going to start off by recognizing, apologies, my screen's not hot, so I'm going to turn around here, recognizing some of our great faculty members. When they receive external funding from outside sources, it's really pretty significant validation of the importance of their work, the quality of the research that they're doing. So Dr. Sam Krish received funding from the Templeton Medication Research Foundation. Dr. Phil Turk, and I think also Dr. Jen Renneker with him, received funding from the Clinical and Translational Science Collaborative of Northern Ohio. Dr. Basson received funding from the University of Minnesota. Dr. Renneker from the University of Mississippi. Dr. Christine Krish. This is one of the first real elements we're seeing from this great new partnership around research with university hospitals. The UH NEOMED Center for Neurodegenerative Disease and Aging. Dr. Matt Smith also received substantial funding from the UH NEOMED Center for Neurodegenerative Disease and Aging. And then we have two more that have done incredibly well. And I want to highlight this number that you're seeing on top, because while it says almost $1.5 million in the last month has come in since we were here last time, the number is actually far larger. We're just giving you the amount that's going to be paid out over the course of this year. The reality is Dr. Rahman's award was for nearly $3 million, and Dr. Liu's award was for slightly over $3 million. So between this incredible group of people this year alone, just since the last time we've done our update, $1.5 million in research funding coming from outside organizations. The UH NEOMED Center is funded by university hospitals for NEOMED, so it is actually external dollars. This is extraordinary, and congratulations to all of you. We look forward to seeing the great impact that your work is going to have in improving healthcare. Also thrilled to be able to recognize, thank you, yes, amazing team of people we have. I also want to recognize Dr. Sarah Dugan. Dr. Dugan is a professor of pharmacy practice. She's also an adjunct or an associate professor of our Department of Psychiatry, and she was just recognized by being nominated as a fellow for the American Association of Psychiatric Pharmacists. So congratulations to Dr. Dugan. And we're thrilled to be able to tell you a little bit about a great program that is now just finished year 4. With our partnership with university hospitals and trying to solve the biggest problems that we think we face in healthcare in the region, we started something called the Ideator. The Ideator is truly a joint venture, bringing together incredible people from all walks of life and discipline to help solve our biggest problems. From our side, I do want to thank Lacey Madison, Maria Scheimer, and the rest of the team that helped to put this on. And there are so many people, I can't possibly give it justice by covering them all today. But we worked hand in hand with University Hospitals Ventures Group to put on this event this year. Every student every team had a NEOMED student or more on it, as well as professionals from faculty members here at NEOMED to clinicians and members of the UH staff team. And we give them a problem to solve every year. This is year 4. The first year, we went after maternal health and infant mortality. The second year was around gun violence. The third year, food insecurity. And this year, it was about environmental health. These teams spend 48 hours trying to solve a problem by creating what their solution could look like. And then we pick the top 2 teams. And first of all, we do recognize them and give them an award. The first team gets $500 per member just as a prize. The second place team gets $250 per member as a prize. But then each team is granted $5,000 and a host of resources to help them move their projects forward over the course of the next year to study what could the impact be from their solutions. And if we can demonstrate real value, we'd like to continue to support these and to grow these. This is about brainstorming. This is about bringing people with range. Range is an important element. I'm looking at Dale in the back of the room who recommended Range as a great book to read. Range is about bringing in all your life experiences and capabilities where disruptive change really occurs because you think outside the box, perhaps because you were never in the box. Whereas specialists tend to do incremental change. If specialists could solve everything, we wouldn't have these problems because we already have a lot of specialists in this area. So we're trying to bring them to a community that's going to enhance their capability and their knowledge. So it was a great event. We had, seemed like a couple of hundred people there, 48 hours. It was really a joyous event to be able to watch all these people. And it's special because everybody's busy. Our students are busy, faculty, staff, clinicians are busy, but they've made an effort in showing up for this. What they've said is, I understand everything has an opportunity cost. If I go to this, I can't do that. But they took the time out of their very busy schedules to go to downtown Cleveland, to huddle into groups, to work into teams, and to dedicate their efforts to try and solve a very big problem. So we're excited to watch these teams thrive, and next year we'll have another event, and we hope more of you will be able to participate and work with us on creating new solutions for our biggest problems in healthcare. Special time of the year, we're heading towards match day and we're heading towards commencement. Our students who go in some of these really difficult specialties to get into will have an early match. Now, there are a number of reasons for that. Some may be because it's so difficult to get into. We want them to know so that they could have applied for something else if they didn't get in. But we have 3 students who matched in ophthalmology, one of the most difficult specialties to get into, and one into urology, also a very difficult specialty. So congratulations to our 4 College of Medicine students on their amazing matches. And you all get to join us in the future on March 20th when we have our single match day with the College of Medicine. Always a special event. It'll be standing room only. We'll have overflow. And I think some of the amazing traditions at NEOMED is how the students are allowed to choose their theme song and dance their way up to the stage for what is a momentous day for them. There are 2 big days in medical school or in your journey to become a physician, I think. Number 1 is when you get your first acceptance to medical school, because then you know you're in. And the second one isn't commencement. That's anticlimactic. It's match day. Where am I going to go continue to build on my career? And we have an amazing match at this university, well above the national average, and outstanding matches in general, too, in the fields that they go into. Our College of Pharmacy is a little bit different. They don't have a single day. They ramp it up over a period of time, and there'll be matches for first years and sometimes second-year students, I should say second-year residency matches. And those individuals do not have to do a residency. They're doing it because they want to specialize and to gain additional knowledge. So we will be watching and reporting out on both of these over the course of the next 2 months. Also really thrilled when we see a member of our team step up to say, I want to be a patriot and I want to serve my country. And when we serve our country here out of NEOMED, it's in the delivery of healthcare. It's not carrying weapons, it's not dropping bombs, it's taking care of our nation's heroes. And so really thrilled to see that Subi Simmons has now become an ensign in the United States Navy. I really want to thank Dr. Faison for showing up in uniform and being able to participate in this incredible recognition. But this is a very military-friendly university. We're really pleased and proud of our Collegiate Purple Star designation. I also want to thank Dr. Basson for his great efforts working with our foundation team, Sophie Sereau and her team. Dr. Basson was able to have numerous meetings and plan out something really quite special, and that is the new Eigel Family Award named after Dr. Howard Eigel. Dr. Eigel was the founding chair of our Department of Pathology. The family has now donated $1.5 million in his honor. It's an endowed fund, and it will spin off dollars to support high-impact research in the College of Medicine. The intent is for about $50,000 in funding for this high-impact work. Dr. Basson, congratulations. I know it was a lot of work for you to be able to do this. Incredibly important for our faculty members. Deadline this year is March 31st to get your application in if you want to benefit from this, and a decision will be made in June of 2026. But this will be an ongoing award named after Dr. Eigel to recognize his dedication to research. Chief Callie Williams, congratulations on completing the Certified Law Enforcement Executive Program. This is a really high leadership program for individuals who are looking to stretch their leadership skills in the delivery of really the peace mission that our officers have in protecting this campus. Callie's done an amazing job. For those of you who've walked around this campus, you realize what a safe campus we have. And this is in a relatively unsafe world. Numerous times each year, you're hearing the awful messages of shootings on campus, stabbings, other terrible events that take place really heavily on college and high school campuses. But it's our incredible police force that keeps us safe. We've been really fortunate to have such a great team. I've shared in the past how we had some alerts about 4 years ago, in fact, 3-4 years ago, where we were contacted by FBI telling us there was a post that somebody was going to do damage, shoot up the campus, and her team had that individual in custody really within less than an hour, within minutes of that notification. We have a great team of officers who walk around, get to know us. We understand them, we trust them. In fact, it's not uncommon for Callie and Trent and others to be out in the parking lot waving at you so that you understand they're here to support you. They are not here to be tough on our campus. They are here to be tough on problems on our campus. So, Callie, thank you very much for all that you do for us. And related to that, it is an unsafe world we live in, and we do need to practice and be ready. Because when bad things happen, you shouldn't have to think about where am I going to go, what am I going to do. It should be reflexive. That's how you save lives. So we will be practicing on March 17th with a run, hide, fight event. This is about surviving an active threat on our campus. We are not immune to it. Nobody is immune to it. Yes, we have a nice, safe campus. However, it just takes one individual and one event to really rock that, and we are going to practice and train. We've had some unintentional practice over the last month, including a car running into the building, which very well could have been a suicide bomber, right? We don't know, so we have to be ready, and we have to treat each event real world one where we're going through and looking at what we did and did we do it well? How could we be better? Not just staged events that allow us to train, but when real things happen. Our Vitals program continues to thrive. I thank all of you who attend. This is a really important program for us. It's gotten us a great deal of national recognition, especially on the AMA Ed Hub, where it's exposed, over 600,000 physicians are exposed to CME based on the programming that we run. For March, we'll have Dr. John Cianca coming to speak to us. He's the president of the American Academy of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation. Our students hold the Asclepius Ball every year. The intent is, yes, building esprit de corps and morale for our students to have fun, but at its very nature, it is there to raise dollars for student scholarship and has been incredibly successful at doing that. This year, we delayed it a little bit because we have a turnover in our student services group, actually a very large turnover and a whole new team coming in, and we wanted to give them the ability to get sequestered and get the programs running well before they actually did this with the students. So on March 27th, we will be having the Asclepius Ball. That is uniquely NEOMED, and the theme this year is a starry night. The students love when our faculty and our staff come. Every year, Dr. Lee tends to come and do a really nice dance exhibition and get the students up and participating in some dance. So this is just a great opportunity to have fun on the campus. And with that and dancing, we will be having the physically integrated dance with Dancing Wheels event on campus on the 25th of February. There will be food, but this is a chance to work with people who are disabled in wheelchairs and to get them engaged and to get them active within our communities. Employee recognition will be coming up in March. We do this every year where we have the opportunity to honor and to recognize and to award the amazing team of people who allow us to do what we do at this university every day, and that is create transformational leaders and improve health, yes, across the nation, but really heavily focused on our communities here in Ohio, and we're looking forward to that event. And every other year now, we're doing casino night. Casino night that we had last time was in 2024, and it was an amazing event. In fact, we sold out of tickets, and there were a lot of, I think, unhappy alums who couldn't get in, so we're hoping we'll be able to expand it this year. It was an outstanding event for any of you who came, and it was also a great way to raise money for the university. Some of the dollars went to our student-run free clinic. Others went into the Blue Fund, which allows us to thrive and to grow the programs here at the university. Save the date, October 10th will be the one taking place in 2026. And we already have two amazing supporters and partners of the university who stepped up to put in $100,000 each to get us going, Mr. Jim Dickey and Dr. Paul Bishop. So we're excited for this year. It should be an amazing event. Sophie, I understand you're going to outdo the last one we did, right? Very good. It'll be amazing, and we hope you're able to join us. Something there's not a slide for, but it will take place in August, and this just jogged my memory to share with you, is for those of you who've read Silver Reflections, it's the first 25 years of this university. You'll note that in 1976, the building right next door where you see that cornerstone that says 1976 on it was laid the foundation for growth of this university. And behind that moniker is a time capsule, and we are due to open that up. We're shooting for a time frame near the end of August. It should be fun to decide to see what it is those individuals thought we should know 50 years later, and I hope all of you are able to come join us for that. So now I want to talk a little bit about Net Promoter Scores, and not to get into the depths of businesses and why businesses use this score, but the Net Promoter Score was created to really understand customers. And yes, as employees, you are our customer too. It's our job to make sure that you have a great place to work and that you're empowered and resourced to do the things you came here to do. But a Net Promoter Score is an interesting model because what it does is it says that if you are a 1 to a 6, 60 percentile on your vote, that you're a detractor. A detractor means you're not saying good things about the university. Being a detractor says you are not loyal to the university because it's just not a place that you feel strongly about. The 7 and 8, which, of course, if you're in school and you're getting a grade in that area, we're talking about C's to B's. Generally, we'd say that's not bad. You got a B, that's pretty good. We say that's average. We don't pay any attention to it whatsoever. Those are people that we hope we can convert to promoters, which are 9s and 10s, which is your A's as you're thinking about grades in college. Those 9s and 10s are our promoters. So to get a net promoter score, you take that green minus your red, and it gives you a number. It's not too much rocket science to say, oh, I understand then. The actual range goes from minus 100 to plus 100. And most would tell you that if you're a 0 or above, that's good because you have more promoters than you do detractors. If you're below a 0, you have work to do. The lower you get towards minus 100, the more work you actually have to do. So we can use this information to help us focus on our customers. And in this case, we're looking at our students and we're looking at our faculty and our staff. I want to show you what we did first with our students, and then I'm going to invite Laura Good to talk to you about our initial phase with our faculty and staff, our employees. So with our students, we began doing the NPS score, Net Promoter Score, in 2021. You may remember we launched the Exceptional Student Experience as a way to really make our students feel valued here. Giving them a great education, that's an expectation. Making this a great place for them to be, that's what we really want to do. We want to be the Ritz-Carltons of the world, not the Motel 6s. We really want to make this a great place where they want to be. And in doing so, we looked at the Net Promoter Score, which is really unique in higher education. Very, very few are doing it. It's a high bar to reach. Because if you're saying only 9s and 10s are positives, then people who would be a B to a B plus range, you're saying, yeah, that doesn't matter. We're failing if we're not bringing everybody into that A range. So Net Promoter Score is a measure of customer loyalty, not satisfaction. It's easy to be satisfied. I'm satisfied with what I'm doing, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go out and tell my friends and family, you should come do this too. It just means I'm satisfied. I'm okay with it. I'm already here. I'm not going to look to move on or to churn out. But for individuals to say they're truly loyal, you think of somebody like Mr. Shiro, who is one of our student trustees. Every time you talk to him about NEOMED, he gets a big smile on his face and says, I love this place. Then I tell everybody to come here. That is a promoter. Somebody who says, it's good. I'm getting what I wanted out of it. But when I talk to my friends and family, I say, sure, apply here, but you should apply these other places too. And our detractors say, yeah, it's okay. I'm not that thrilled. You should probably go somewhere else. So that's the way to look at how a student might be considered. And then we use the information from the Net Promoter Score because we ask other questions to figure out how do we improve upon what we've done. So I want to show you where we were and where we've come with the student element that we started with. And here's a graph. This demonstrates during the pandemic, 21 and 22, tough times, but honestly, you could go back years before that and look at our surveys. Many, except for College of Pharmacy back then, who seemed pretty content, our College of Medicine students pretty well showed what we're seeing in 21 and 22. But here's what we did. We took that information and we went from below 0, which says you have work to do. Immediately at 23, we flipped into the good range. Good says you're doing a good job. You're not world class or you're not great, but you're good. And many universities are not good. Many universities are down in the lower range. But we were able to flip that in 23. And if you look at the trajectory in 25, we are now in the great range. And our goal is to get to above 70, which is considered world class. And there are very few organizations in that particular group nationwide. In fact, if you look at NPS scores for the federal government, it's about minus 20, minus 10 range. Same thing with our legislators. And as you'll see from Laura in a moment, when it comes to eNPS, the way employees perceive university, the average is a 0, right on that line between you have work to do and you're doing a good job. So now I'm going to turn it over to Laura Good to talk about eNPS. And this is a little bit different because it's not I'm satisfied with the experience I'm getting as a customer what's my level of loyalty. But this is about how do you feel as an employee at the university. And you've given us a lot of data to work with, but we've only got time point 1, We're going to make lots of changes, and what we hope to do is see that same trajectory going forward from where we are now to what our future looks like. Laura, will you please come up?
Thank you so much, Dr. Langell. Clicker. All right, I'm going to set this down here real quick because I have some notes because I want to make sure I don't forget to say anything important for all of you to hear. All right, thank you so much. All right, so we're going to get started today. As Dr. Langell mentioned, we did the ENPS survey for the very first time in September of 2025. And obviously it's our first time. We needed a little bit of time to analyze the data, put everything together, and I'm happy to be here with you today to share our results. So the first thing, Dr. Langell did cover some of this information about the purpose of the survey and really focusing on that main one question: how likely are you to recommend NEOMED as a place to work? And we've really added in some other questions that we were curious about relating to culture and satisfaction, and wanted to make sure that we had this information so that we could identify our strengths as well as our opportunities. So I want to talk about a little bit about who participated in the survey. So there were 235 employees that participated in the survey that were unduplicated responses and had submitted by the deadline. So that's about a 57% participation rate. And you can see here who participated. As you'll notice, the staff had the largest participation in the survey, and the majority of the employees were full-time. So 96% of those 235 employees were full-time. And the largest demographic that participated were those who have been here in that 1 to 5 year range at 40%. So we talked to Dr. Langell, covered this about what the score indicates and how the rating that you respond, like how likely are you to recommend NEOMED as a place to work, whether you put that as a 9 and a 10, you're in the promoter, 0 to 6 is going to be in the detractor range. Oops, wrong button. All right, so here is our overall score. You'll notice we are above 0, so we are in the good range. And this is really going to serve as our baseline moving forward, because we are going to implement some new programs and recognition opportunities moving forward. And we want to make sure that what the actions that we're implementing, the programs that we're implementing, are really leading us towards positive results and an increase in our employee net promoter score. So as you can see here, there were 79 promoters and 71 detractors. So that's where we get the overall score. Those 85 individuals in the middle who gave us a 7 or an 8, as Dr. Langell mentioned, those are not included in the calculation. But their feedback and input is really important as we strive to make the institution a destination workplace. So we have a good story to tell. What were those results that really came through to show why NEOMED is a good place to work? So people and culture. Our employees felt very strongly that they really liked working with their coworkers. They felt supported in their departments, and that they were passionate about their coworkers. It's a strong community. But we'll see some, as we go further along, we'll see that that's not consistently applied across all areas of the institution. But we have meaningful work and mission. So it's great that our employees are here because they really want to help improve healthcare for the future. And really aligning with the mission of the institution is so critical. And the work-life balance. So all of us get to enjoy the many benefits and paid time off that NEOMED offers. And a lot of us do get to have some flexibility with our work schedules as well, as far as remote work, work in the office, work from home. And then finally, I really want to mention and thank our leadership for providing us some additional time off with the Summer of Wellness program and the additional time off over the winter break. That is so appreciated by our employees. And finally, the benefits and stability. So things like OPERS and STRS, that significant investment in our retirement is so appreciated, as well as the beautiful campus. Thank you to Campus Ops for really doing above and beyond work to keep our campus beautiful and safe from the snow as well. And then really thinking about the development opportunities that are here and the stability. I think in a time where higher education is really experiencing declining enrollments and the undergraduate schools are really struggling, we have a great story to tell here at NEOMED. And I think that that really came through in the survey as well. So a couple things I do want to point out. These first two pieces where we had a lot of very strong feedback. My supervisor provides effective support and guidance, and you feel value and heard by your supervisor. These results are very uncommon. Gallup polls would say that that is usually between like 28 and 38%. And we have amazing support here for our employees, which is great. Another one that's also very uncommon to see is feeling like you have good communication within your department. So it's great that our managers, our supervisors are really taking the time to communicate well within their departments. The satisfaction with their work-life balance, we saw that noted in our previous slide. And that 62% feel that NEOMED have a positive workplace culture. Again, that kind of leads back to our overall ENPS score and those individuals who gave us the 9s and 10s. So really great, strong responses here, but we do have some opportunities. So I want to make sure that we communicate with you what we saw in the survey and how we might address those moving forward. So one of the things that came through pretty strong was communication and change management. So although communication was well perceived at the departmental level, across the institution, there are some opportunities there, and wanting to make sure with things, with growth and things changing, like we saw in the positives was about growth and stability. But with that comes some challenges with growing and changing processes and new organizations or new colleges coming on board, and just making sure that we have a kind of a change management sort of mindset that what we're doing today is probably going to change in the future, and it's going to change for the better as we strengthen our institution overall, sorry. So also we want to make sure that staff particularly, and this is not because we had such a high number of staff respondents, there were some feelings that staff felt like they were undervalued, especially during times when things are changing or when there's turnover happening, they're taking on additional responsibilities. So looking for ways to provide some more recognition for staff and their extra work that they are taking on, and really acknowledging what they're completing here and doing on behalf of the institution. And then finally, growth and development. So there were a lot of comments about wanting to have additional professional development opportunities, and also making sure that there are some career pathways in place, especially for staff. There seems to be, we're a pretty flat organization. So as much as we can provide some limited growth or some growth opportunities and career pathways to really help and support all of the staff here would be fantastic. But there were mentions too from the faculty about wanting to have additional development, whether that's coming from the Institute for Teaching Excellence or in other areas, grants and research. There were a lot of comments for their growth as well. So we've started some initiatives. Some of these were already in place when we did the survey back in September. So like LinkedIn Learning, we rolled out LinkedIn Learning in October of last year, and we have over 300, I think 312 individuals here on campus. Faculty and staff have registered for LinkedIn Learning, and over 300 hours of training has already been taken by those individuals. Does anybody want to guess what the #1 training topic was? AI, you are absolutely correct. AI is by far the #1 training that has been our employees have participated in. We've offered some additional opportunities for development and training in the fall when we've aligned to the Employee Empowered Excellence Program, which was previously known as the Staff Incentive Bonus Program. So we have enhanced that to really focus it on employee empowerment and the training piece. So working very closely with strategy to develop programs, to deliver programs that you are interested in based upon surveys that they have done, and really providing a better incentive for our staff employees to receive the training that they're looking for. We also increased recognition opportunities. We rolled out Campus Kudos. I think in November, we rolled out Campus Kudos, and to date, over 100 faculty and staff members have been recognized through Campus Kudos, and we have promoted those in the Pulse, thanks to Marcom for that effort, and put those on our campus displays as well. And it's really great to feel like the work you're doing is being appreciated by your colleagues and your coworkers, and really giving you that opportunity to be recognized for the great work you're doing. In addition, we are going to have the Core Value Awards on March 13th at the Employee Recognition Ceremony. These Core Value Awards will be awarded to individuals that were selected through their nominations for integrity, collaboration, and excellence. And then finally, we've offered some additional opportunities specifically in the fall, and we have several more coming in the spring to really help our employees and our faculty and staff to get to know each other. It's so, and to learn more about the work that they're doing and what's happening in their college. It's so important to really build those relationships with others and to understand how they're contributing to the mission in ways that you're contributing to the mission, and really just forming that bond and having a sense of community with your coworkers, even if they're in a different college or in a different department or work through a different division. So really looking for opportunities. We'll continue to do that in the spring. I'm really excited to mention we will be having an event during March Madness called Hoop It Up with HR. I'm pretty excited about that one. So bring your basketball skills with you. All right, next, just a quick summary about what we've accomplished so far and where we anticipate our next steps to go. So initially, the results of the ENPS survey was shared with EMT. They had several in-depth meetings to go over those summary results. And please, as Dr. Langell mentioned, we will be releasing some new initiatives, some new programs, opportunities to really take that feedback and put it into a meaningful motion so that we can help move the strategic plan forward and really make NEOMED a destination workplace for top talent. And then I am currently meeting with the division deans and vice presidents to talk about their individual scores. So as I mentioned a little bit earlier, there are some distinct subcultures that exist within those results, and I'm working directly with those deans and VPs to create some action plans in their areas so that we can address those our initial efforts can really address those immediate results that we saw in that survey. And then finally, we are going to have a couple open sessions, probably in early March or late February. Stay tuned for that. There'll be some announcements going out where you can really share your feedback on opportunities and ideas to really strengthen the support of our faculty and staff. Although you did have that opportunity to give that response during the survey, there were some responses that left like some additional follow-up questions where we might want to learn more. So we'll encourage you to attend those, again, really to share ideas and support to strengthen our faculty and staff engagement. And then finally, as Dr. Langell mentioned, we really do need to continually measure our ENPS results over time. So we will have additional surveys so that we can gauge if the efforts that we're making, the initiatives that we're rolling out are making a meaningful impact to all of you. All right, and I have a slide for questions if there's any questions. If not, I'll turn it back over to Dr. Langell.
Great, thank you, Laura. No questions? No questions online either? Well, I want to thank Laura for all her work on this. There's there's a lot that we're doing. We've had several full day brainstorming sessions about what we can do to make things even better than they are. It'll never be perfect for everybody. We know that. Part of that is because of culture-based hiring. We've implemented this now. We're trying to make sure that we are hiring people that are a great fit for this university, and not everybody is, and this university is not a great fit for everybody. If you would apply to go to Disneyland, they'll say, this is who we are, and if you can't be this person, please don't apply here, because you're going to be unhappy and you'll make other people unhappy. And so what we want to do is make sure we have the right people here to help us grow our incredible mission. Every time a doctor saves a patient's life in Ohio, every time a pharmacist helps to deal with management of complex medications, and soon, every time a dentist gets out into rural areas to help people in need, and those are because of you, because we can't do any of those things without this team of individuals. What we do is service. We create the future workforce for Ohio. There are a lot of things in that survey that I think were really great to see. In 2019, the faculty retention surveys showed that about 80+% of our faculty felt they were significantly underpaid compared to their peer group. We made changes. We implemented a self-correcting program, and it was wonderful to see that 95% of faculty in this survey felt that they were appropriately paid. Some even were strongly agreed, not just agreed. So we've made some changes, and the impact has been real, but we want to do more. We need to do more, and we're here to help you and to support you. And you're going to see a lot more changes coming out through Laura Good's office to help us be able to do that. And if there are no further questions, then what is it?
Yeah, I can address that if you don't mind. So the Employee Empowered Excellence Plan was really developed this year to focus on the development piece, and the Run, Hide, Fight training is actually required for all of our new hires, and so it's more of a required training that all of us should want to participate in. So unfortunately, it did not count this year towards that because it is very developmental focused on training initiatives, helping you to do your job better. Obviously, we want you to be safe and participate in that training, but there's no additional incentive for that this year.
Yeah, and to highlight that a little bit more, this is the incentive element is to try and get you to do something to develop your skill set with what the university also needs as a skill set. So things that I don't like the term mandatory training, prefer essential training. We all have to do FERPA. Federal government says we do. Run, hide, fight, that's for your safety and campus safety. What we're trying to do with incentive is to say, everybody has their salaries, their paychecks. We want to give you more if you want to develop yourself and go that next mile. So for instance, Lean Six Sigma, if you do one of those certificate programs, you're actually building out your capabilities. And the data shows us that, I know Jordan's here, I want to say at least you add at least $5,000 onto your earnings potential having completed just the Yellow Belt program. Should you go someplace or take another position here because it brings you up? Run, hide, fight, that's about your safety and your health. We want you to be safe and we want you to be healthy. FERPA, that's part of doing business. We have to do it. Federal government says we have to do it. So the incentive program is just that. It's not to incent you to do what you have to do. It's to incent you to do things to help yourself and to help the university, things that are mission aligned and important to us. So if no other questions, I invite you to stay. We have time allocated for you. Enjoy the cookies and the coffee and spend time chatting with your coworkers. Thank you very much. Oh. Thank you.